I'm going to walk you through the 8-figure roadmap. This is the quickest way that I know of how to build a business to over $10 million a year in revenue for franchisees and small business owners. First, we're going to look at the phases, like what does the journey look like? Second, we're going to talk about the key pieces, which are building a great team, generating strong cash flow, and scaling that you need to master if you want to do 8 figures or more. I bought my first business in 2016. Today, I've grown that business to over $55 million a year in revenue. I have over 30 locations, and the business runs completely without me. I've also helped dozens of other owners copy these same systems across every different industry, so I know they could work for you too. And the first thing we have to do is think about building the business like we're climbing a mountain. We're going to start at the bottom, where we're doing $0 in revenue. And the first ring that we have to grow to is $1 million. What you really need to focus on in this stage are the skills. So the skills are what it's going to take to run the business. So we think of your ability to sell, to hire, to manage people, to run operations, to learn marketing. There's all these different skills that you're going to have that you have to master in order to grow. But if you don't master these skills, you're not going to be able to grow the business any bigger if you don't cover this thing. So we got to handle that first. The next level is growing from $1 to $2 million. Now, I'm going to say $2 million, but really what I mean is 2 locations for a lot of people. It's basically splitting yourself, where to get to $1 million, you as the owner are like the hero, you save the day, you do everything, you're the top salesperson, you're the top producer, and that works to a certain limit. But to grow the business, to go from 1 location to 2 and double the size of the business, you can't be in 2 places at once. And so in order to master that, you have to focus on systems. Now, a system is just simply a documented process on how you do things, right? So you should have a system of how you sell, how you operate, how you hire people, how you run the day-to-day of the business. And the better job that you can do systematizing the business, so it's not all up in your head, but it's just the way you do business, the easier it is to get to the next level. So many owners get stuck right here. Countless people feel like they bought themselves a job because they didn't know or implement the right systems. And so we need to solve for that. The next level, once you have your systems dialed in, is growing to, I'm going to say it's $5 million, right? Or 5 locations. Now you kind of have a market. You have multiple locations going on. At this point, you're going to probably be hiring a district manager, a multi-unit person to help oversee it. And so what it takes to get to that level are standards. Standards are the level that you play at. It is clear rules on consistent quality, performance, the culture, the excellence, the teamwork. It is how you play the game. There's a famous quote that's you get what you tolerate, which is if you have low standards and you let people be late and you let people cut corners, then that's what you're going to get. And if you have a very high bar, then you are going to get people who also want to play at that level. We get high standards, that gets us to over 5 million. We can double again to $10 million. Now at this point, to get to 10 million, what you have to get really good at is creating structure, because at this point you've got a good amount of people. You probably have approaching potentially 10 different locations. You've got multiple multi-unit people. You have a back office. You have probably a controller. You've got a pretty staffed up organization. What happens if you don't have structure are people get confused on who they talk to. And so they're talking, multiple people are trying to solve the same problem. You don't have clear lines of communication. You don't have clear defined roles, responsibility, and all this complexity. And so now you get bottlenecked because there's lots of friction. And so in order to hit that number, you really have to install great structure that makes it clear so everybody can go. And then finally, to get to above 10 million, to get to 20 million, 50 million, and beyond, there's one thing that you need, and that is a good strategy. This is going to be the big moves that you do that actually move the needle. The big acquisitions to double or triple in size, bringing in that C-suite to completely run the business so that you can continue to focus on the bigger and bigger things. This is going to be where a lot of people either go to the moon or they built a really good lifestyle business that supports them and they're happy, and that's a strategy, right? So this is the biggest variable is strategy. Now, the problem that a lot of people have is they're not focused on the right things at the right levels. So you've got people who are down here who are working to get to their first $1 million of revenue, and they're up here thinking about structure and org charts and all this crap. And it's dude, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. That'll come. What you got to get really good is getting revenue up to $1 million, really nailing your sales process, your marketing, your cash flows, all this stuff. The reverse also happens too, where you've got people even up here, like who should be focused on strategy or like maybe the structure, but then they're micromanaging down here, thinking about all this stuff. And it's this challenge that they have where what got you here won't get you there. And so if you're somebody who's built the business up from nothing, you sometimes fall back to the things that made you successful, like writing a bunch of these SOPs and systematizing all these things, which is good. It needs to be done. But like your best and highest use of your time is figuring out how the heck do we take this thing to the next level, right? Nobody else can do that but you. And so if you keep falling back to old habits and you don't have like a sounding board and you don't have somebody to tell you, hey man, like you are focused on the wrong things right now and challenge you, then like you might stay in this loop where you just feel like, you're going in circles. And that's one of the things that like I'm really good at helping other people because I have climbed this mountain. I've helped multiple other people climb this mountain. We know exactly what you need to be focused on at different phases. And if you're not, then like there's a really quick way to redirect you to get you on the right things. All right, so next up, we want to set the target. Like, where are we going for? What is the big thing that we're aiming for? And for me, it's really simple. I want to build an 8-figure business and life. What does that mean? An 8-figure business, or $10 million a year or more of revenue, which should generate at least $1 million or more of income. So complete financial freedom when you have that much income that you can set your family up, maybe even the next family up for generations. You have nothing in the world. You can live life on your terms, right? That is what the business does. But an 8-figure life is the other half of that, of what's the purpose of money, right? Is the purpose just so you can buy a fancy car or watch or like have more, zeros in your bank account? For me, no. I want a life that I want to live, right? It has freedom, has flexibility, that has not a ton of stress, that allows me to go on vacation with my family or spend money on like whatever I want to do and not feel a certain way about it. Where there are other people that build 8-figure businesses. Think private equity, investment bankers, lawyers, sometimes doctors. And they are at the beck and call of their clients and possibly their boss. And yes, they make a lot of money. Maybe they make more money from me, but they like have no freedom in their schedule. They can't just, take their daughter to golf every Thursday morning for 3 hours because, they got to deal with this thing. And my view of a business is to support the life that we want to live, not the other way around. So this is what we're shooting for. This is what I have successfully created, and I'm on the mission to help anybody who wants to come along with me. And it's a big reason I'm creating content here is to help others achieve this, which is an 8-figure business and life. Now, that sounds amazing, right? But how the heck are we going to do it? Because the first problem is, I want that, but I can't find good people. Nobody wants to work anymore, Brian. And if I can't find the people, it's all stuck on me. And that's a huge problem, but we're going to fix that. The other problem that we have is there's low cash flow. Like the revenue is there. We're doing more and more revenue, but where's the money? Where's the beef? Like that Wendy's commercial. And in order to truly achieve this, we got to be able to fix that. We can't have low cash flow. And finally, just this idea of more locations equals more stress, where it's just like, man, it's already a lot, and now it's going to double or triple, and like, I don't know if I want that, right? That doesn't sound fun. So we have to be able to fix that. And how do we do it? So instead of the fear and the legit problem of not being able to find great people, we need to be able to build a team that runs without me. All right? That's the direction. So instead of finding good people, we are going to put systems in place to be able to build a team that can run without me. It's possible. And instead of low cash flow and just struggling to pay bills and just frustrations, there's a world that exists where we can have strong monthly distributions, right? Strong, lucrative, really, really good, man. It feels good every time that hits your bank. Monthly, it's happening again and again. It's very consistent. And a distribution is like you're taking money out of the business. It's a bonus for you, essentially, for business owners. Right? And instead of having this idea that more locations is going to equal more stress, we want to be able to put systems in place to be able to grow without the chaos. It's possible. I've done it. I've done it multiple times now. So now that sounds great, but how do we actually do it? So what I'm going to walk you through now are the actions, the levers that you have to pull in order to build a business that runs without you. So as I go through this, what I want you to do is you can start to write these down. And then for each one that I write down, give it a little color code. And we're going to have 3 colors. Hold on, let me just get my little colors loaded up here. You can put it as red, as like, that definitely needs some work. We can put it as yellow to say, it could be better. And then we're going to put it as green to say, that's good. Like I'm pretty strong here. This is the stoplight system that I use with clients or business owners, anybody that's like looking and wants to work with me. We go through this exercise. We're getting everybody kind of to self-assess where they're at. So then we can know what are the biggest constraints that we can fix next in the business. So the first thing that has to happen if we want to be able to build a team that can run without us is we have to be able to hire great people. So ask yourself, do you have a reliable, consistent ability to just hire great people? Do you have a whole Rolodex of people that want to come and work for you right now? It's the second you have an opening and are banging down the doors because they want to work with you. Most of the people that before they start working for us or with us, they're going to say, no, I do not have that. That is something that needs a ton of work. And it is honestly why it's one of the biggest focuses within our program is teaching people how to create a hiring machine to hire better and better people. All right. Then once we hire people, we need to be able to retain the best. It's really hard to hire. The last thing we want to do is lose the people. So we have to create culture that make people want to stay. We have to have compensation plans that are very aligned and lucrative, and they work for everybody. We have to have reasons that people want to stay with us. And if not, they're going to go to a competitor who can offer it better. I find most people, at least when they start and when we're talking, feel like they do a pretty good job retaining their best people. They don't have a ton of turnover in that position. It's kind of like everyone else that feels to be a struggle. And then finally, we have to be able to build leaders. So from within, we need to be able to have a system to take somebody and grow our own. Because the only way that this whole thing runs is with a solid leadership development program. I have multiple people in my organization who have risen from mechanic to manager partner, from assistant manager to manager to district manager to every level of the business. And leadership is one of the things that a lot of people are lacking, and with low accountability, nobody follows up, nobody does this. And I feel the stronger that you can get at developing your own leaders, and then your leaders develop leaders, the better your organization is. But for most, this is a real pain point, and one that, we've got a system to solve it. So that's what we have to do to build a business that runs without us. We have to hire, we have to retain, we have to build leadership from within. All right. Next up, we have cash flow. So instead of low cash flow, we got to build these strong distributions. What is the action plan? Oh yeah, and by the way, go ahead and grade yourself. If you're following along here, you don't have to draw the pretty diagram. You can just write it anywhere. But to build a strong distribution, the first thing that we have to do is we have to strengthen the unit economics. So basically, we're going to look at the business, and you should know, what does your cost of goods need to be? What does your payroll need to be? What are your fixed costs, your variable cost? What should your target net margin be? You should have your business kind of in a box and say, okay, I think my average unit should be 1.5 million. I want to make at least 15%, which makes me about over 200 something thousand. And then boom, and it costs me 300 to open it. And then I get my payback period within, a little over 12 months, but I can get financing to accelerate it, and boom, 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 economic boom, boom, boom. You just can stamp them out, and I can pull this lever, I can tweak my margins here and there, and have a really strong economic. So the question is, do you know what your numbers should be? This one varies. I find that a lot of owners do feel I pretty much know what my numbers should be. Then it's just a matter of, we got to execute to get the plan in it, but they have a pretty good idea of what the economics should be, which is awesome. Next, we need to optimize the sales funnel. So every business has essentially the same funnel, where you're going to spend a bunch of money on marketing that's going to generate leads for your business, which you need to then convert those leads into customers who then are going to get an estimate, and you have to sell the work, you have to execute on the work, And then hopefully you're going to get repeat business from that person. And if you want to generate more business and have stronger monthly distributions, you have to optimize that funnel. You have to go step by step and identify every single step of that funnel and where there's a leak, right? Where you lead people in marketing. You spend money in marketing, it doesn't work. You have a conversion that's not strong. Your estimating process could be better. You don't have good sales scripts and repeatable processes to sell. You don't have a good follow-up or repeat business machine. So every step of the way, there are leaks to optimize your sales funnel. If I asked you right now, where do you think it's the weakest? Most people would grade this as frustrated on marketing, frustrated on, not clear on how we get the phone to ring and convert more. And so we got to fix that. And then finally, it's to plug the leaks. I have the videos I joke about throwing out the K-cups and going from 2-ply to 1-ply toilet paper. But in all seriousness, there are so many opportunities to fix leaks in a business where costs just get out of control. Even my utility bills, someone accidentally, who doesn't work for us anymore, agreed to switch our power bills to some third-party supplier who's charging us 50% more than what the market rate is. And we had no idea until me, decided to review the bills and we found this thing. And it was costing us like $100,000 a year. I was so mad. And those things happen every single day where these vendors are constantly trying to get one over on us. And we have to be really cautious and protective to not spend any money on things that don't give us an ROI and aren't worth it. And so this is one that, we can joke about it all we want, but it's pretty serious, where a lot of business owners, I look at their P&L when we do our call and we dive into the numbers, and it's like, man, it's like death by 1,000 cuts. And so this is one that I think that we can find a lot of money just like that by just fixing a few things. All right, so that's the plan. To fix your cash flow and to create strong monthly distributions, we get the unit economics down, we dial those in, we optimize the sales funnel, we plug all the leaks. That's how we do it, all right? And then now that we have a strong economic model, now we can focus on copy and pasting. This is how we can grow without chaos. And the first thing that we have to do is we have to map your plan, map the expansion. There's lots of different ways that you can grow. You can grow through acquisition. You can convert competitors into your business. You can convert in my business is like whatever vanilla shop into an automotive shop. We can do grounds up. We can go locally. We can try to go into a new market. We can go in a plane ride market. We can go into a whole different business if we wanted to try to create some synergies. I don't recommend that, but there's lots and lots of different ways we can expand. And you want to have absolute clarity on the best expansion plan for you, not for me, not for the guy next to you, but for you, based on your goals, your situation, your budgets, your experience level, and extreme level of clarity on what exactly that deal box looks like. And that is something that, I've got more and more clarity around it the more that I do it. And a lot of times when I'm talking to people, they're kind of like, hey, I'm open to anything, which is like not great when you want to be laser focused on exactly what you have to do. So I'm going to help you get really clear on that map. Then we have to build a funding plan. Build funding, all right? So how the heck are we going to pay for all this stuff, right? To do that, you have to have like a rock solid funding plan. So are you going to use seller financing? Do you know how to negotiate it, how to sell it, how to structure it? What are the best terms? So much opportunity in acquisitions around seller financing. Banking relationship. Most people don't know this, but like those local banks that are right down the street from you that maybe have one branch could be the best possible relationship for you to generate. There's SBA. There's lines of credits you can get. There's hard money lenders, no credit lenders for quick closes if you're just trying to get money quick and then you're going to pay it right back. You could get into equity plans with partners, with investors, even without giving up the farm. There's so many different ways that you could develop a strategy for funding. But the key here is you want to have all this stuff in line way before you need it. Because when you need it, you're going to have to move fast. And so the quicker that we can lay the foundation and the track so you are ready to roll and have like a sounding board of people that you can like bounce ideas off of to understand like what works and what doesn't and their success, the better. So when I talk to most people, they're saying like, yeah, I like have an idea of what I could do and qualify for, but like it could be better. And finally, we want to systematize our ops. So everything that we just went over in all the processes, right? We think about how do we copy paste. We talk about like the skills to systematize through SOPs and training. We talk about the structure in which things get done, in which we systematize our funding plans and the way we're going to look at new expansions and systematize how we plug leaks and do everything. A lot of it's a skill that you learn in terms of identifying a problem, come up with a solution, roll it out, train it, and then everybody does it the same. And I find that like a lot of people feel like they need a lot of help in just like that general process. So this is it. This is how you build a 8-figure business that gives you financial freedom and also the life that most people want to live. At least I want to live. Like, and if you want my help with this, like this is the plan. This is what we're going to go through. This is what I'm helping 50 people execute right now inside of 8-figure franchisee. And so here's what I'm going to say to you. Go ahead and identify what are your biggest constraints right now of all this stuff. I would pick 2 or 3 of them that you're going to say, I really need to work on my, I don't know, my hiring thing, fixing the sales funnel, and really systematizing my operations. I don't know, whatever it is for you. Write it down. Come up then with a plan of how you're going to do it. Now, if you want my help doing this, like we have plug and play systems for all this and can give you clarity so you can just like, you don't have to figure it out on your own. You've got like how I've done it. You've got how all these other guys are currently doing it. And you could just install and grow and go a lot faster. So if you made it this far and you said, Brian, this sounds great, but man, I'd love to work with me. You'd love to have my help doing this. Here are the next steps. I want you to go to Instagram and I want you to send me a DM with the word beers. Obviously my last name. And what's going to happen, it's like an automation, and I'm going to send you back a document that's going to lay out exactly what the plan looks like. There's no sales funnel. There's no sales call. There's no pressure, honestly. I'm just going to give you the info. I'm going to give you the pricing. You're going to see if it's like right for you. And if it is, there's instructions on how to take next steps. And if it's not, then cool. Like I'm going to wish you the best of luck. You can go as far as you can following my content. I'm going to be putting way more out on how to actually execute this. But if you want to go fast and you want to go with a bunch of other people who are working to build 8-figure lives, then definitely check it out. I know that we're changing so many people's lives, giving them the tools and the resources that they can't find anywhere else. And I don't know, I'm really excited to help as many people as I can. We are capping the number of new people per month. And so if we're sold out for the month, I'll just put you on a wait list and you can get started the next month once the next round opens up. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, drop in the chat below and hopefully we can connect on Instagram and start a conversation. Cheers.